Okay. Um, you know, the way they try to paint what's happening to me instead of, try to just be transparent about reality is these people have tried to make me subscribe to this nasty manipulation. I talk about it all the time. Matter of fact, as I was making this video, I saw a picture of a child where I made a video about how they do these nasty reactions, which is the typical things. I'll do that all the time if I need to, because I want to show these patterns of how to make me experience things, and it's going to happen like that. Matter of fact, my legs will cross, and of course, when they any ways they can add some kind of, if pressure is applied onto my private area, they create some arousals. I know when I explain, it sounds kind of nonsensical, but you'll hear a lot of like disturbing manipulations. So let me just start with an introduction of who I am. And I'm a target individual. Truly, I don't care about sharing my name, but just my experience as a target individual. What these people do as target individual, they are using us as subjects, test subjects for these disturbing things to do. Now, who are these people? These people are the intelligence community, but the people that they contract as civilians, just nobody's live around you, and they provide them this technology so they can implement this developing aspect of the program. And they do whatever they do to target individual, which is me in this case and others, to get the results utilizing this technology, extremely sophisticated technology, and it's to see the contracted trash that involved in this shows how developed and how advanced this technology is, because children are literally involved in this, and people of all sorts can be involved, from the most intellectual to the less intellectual, from the most sophisticated to the least sophisticated. It's people of all sorts. Children are involved, and then they're involved in different fashion. Some of them are literally applying this technology onto me, like whatever's happening to my organs right now. This, I can feel that my body, something is happening to my body. The reason why I don't really go to the doctors is because I understand the fact that once you're in the program, your whole ecosystem is compromised. Meaning that you might go to a doctor, and the doctor might be part of it and be involved in this. You hear a lot of target individuals wondering why doctors are so treating them so badly, and because what happened is, as a target individual, they want you to start seeing yourself in these certain ways, which is not true. Try to make you look at yourself in a different light, and they try to degrade you in every environment that you're in. You're no longer a human being. At least that's what they try to make you think. They want you to think of yourself as something lower than a human being. But the reality is, what end up happening is the opposite. You start seeing yourself as something dignified, as somebody with dignity, because thank God I'm not involving myself in this program. Thank God I never have to participate and have to stoop to the level to make myself this low, to reduce myself to this level, and become this trash that now I am, in order to trash people. So you end up finding yourself you feel dignified, you feel like dignity and honor, while this trash do these nasty things. Now, of course, life is horrible. Life is hard, and we go through horrible things. And for me, in my case, I can feel my organs just not doing well. So perhaps I am losing my life slowly. But death comes to all of us. These people involved, participating, even running this program will end up dying. So death, and by the way, I find it's not comfort, but understanding that even people who were involved in my targeting have died watching me slowly lose my life. So it's something that it doesn't scare me. I think, if anything, this purpose becomes scared of it, and they hate even addressing the mortality that they're gonna face. Because with the nasty things they do to people, it's kind of scary. Especially when you've called yourself gods, you did these nasty things, and you kind of lived life thinking that life will be good to you. So that's that. But the reason why you're seeing these pictures is this. Now, I was listening to this story about this Delta Force guy who talked about how when he captured what's his name, the ex-president of Iraq, Saddam Hussein. When they got him, he looked like crap, right? He was like hiding in this hole and try to like sneak around and whatever, and he obviously he was not able to take care of himself. So when he saw him, he's like, oh my gosh, who's that person? And he saw this man who was like, oh my gosh, he looks like Uncle Fester or something like that. And and immediately they start to make me imagine, you see, just like you so you see this picture of me. In this picture, it's me as a child. I was a kid there. I was about to turn 13 in this picture. And what they try to do every time is tell me what's happening to you today is payback for what you did when you were a child. About a year after this picture was taken, I did something so stupid as a kid who just turned 14 or about to turn 14, and I did some stupid things to myself, but it's something that I look back, it's embarrassing. I'm like, oh my gosh. Matter of fact, it was so impulsive and such a moment in a childhood that I honestly never thought about it ever again. It just disappeared from my mind, because it's like, when you do something as a kid, it's like, it just never comes back in your brain, because it was nothing meaningful to you. It was just an impulsive moment of a child, right? But they always bring that back to say, like, you see, for what you did. And they have to exaggerate. Oh, my gosh. They have to exaggerate to a level that's so disturbing. Because what I did initially, it's embarrassing and everything. But a child is a child. Child can do things that are impulsive. The brain of a kid who's turning 14, who's about to turn 14, or who just turned 14, is not the brain of a developing person. It's not the brain of an adult person. It's still developing. It's a child. That's why when I hear this trash next to me, and I understand why they like to use childlike individuals, it's like almost hearing somebody who's damn near retarded, because children, brain is still growing. They're not fully there. But it's good that they use this purpose. It's good that they use these childlike individuals, because they truly are dumbing themselves down for the purpose of gaslighting you as an adult person. So instead of using an adult brain who's mature, developed, can have logic, why not use a childlike brain who, like I said, it's like a child. It's just no self-respect. It's like children are children. So that's perfect for what they need here. Now, so for me, I look back at this, I'm like, oh my gosh, what else? I don't even like thinking about it, but I have to accept that as a child I did something stupid. If it'll never be what they want to exaggerate to, but it's what I did as a child. Even though that moment was something that happened and never thought about it again, but it happened. That moment happened, and now looking back, I have to look at it the way I need to look at it, in a logical way, not in the way they want me to look at things. Because what's happening today is, when they make me have this disturbing reaction toward children, they say, no, we are mapping it the way you look at it when you were a child around that age, even younger. Matter of fact, they go like some as young as the things they say is like younger than when I was 9 in 3rd grade or something like that. It's so disturbing. But the reality is this, right? As they try to say, Uncle Fester, whatever, like somebody who, like an uncle that would do something to like a kid. It's so disturbing. As they try to make me accept this falsified persona, because this is what you're talking about, a kid about that age doing something stupid that you have to exaggerate, and the thing happened impulsively, and it was a one-time moment of a child, which they try to change and create more momentum, and it's so disturbing. But looking, it's funny that what they like to say, oh, you changed, huh? that's the kind of logic they kind of like to implement onto you. That's what they might use. They use children. They're not even might. They are currently using children to kind of make you think in this damn near retarded way. And right now they try to create another battle. That's how stupid things can get in my brain. But But the reality is they not only do the pedophilia type of torture, which you're gonna hear. I don't care bringing the same things over and over and over and over. You hear that they do this disturbing manipulation where they force you to experience disgusting reactions, stimulations, and thoughts, and falsify memories, by the way, and that are aimed to just break you down in so many ways. But something else they like to do is hurt children in horrible ways. I'm talking about not only sexual, but other ways. So sexual torture targeting genders of children. So I'm saying that they do some things to disturb me. So they target children's genders. They are hurting them by suffocating them and burning them and radiating them and doing so much horrible things they do to children. That is the reality. Who knows how many children end up dying, but I know if the death is super slow, just like us adults. And another thing is the agencies that are running this program. This is what you see here. These pieces of article, these are legit documents coming from these governmental entities that are linked to CIA, DOD, DARPA, all of those. There is a pattern, a disturbing pattern in these entities of pedophilia. I mean, and obviously this is based on the little, not even the little, but what was provided from the same entities. We all know that those entities are not the most transparent entities. You don't expect to see all of what's going on in the CIA. You don't expect to hear about all that's happening in DARPA and even DOD. So with this information they provided, as little as it was, it still shows the obvious patterns of pedophilia. A scary one. One of the sample here, if you zoom in, you'll see that you hear that the way they busted some of the CIA agents were just simply they left their laptop unattended. And on their laptop, which is governmental computers, they saw some child porn on this CIA agent's CIA computer, and that's how they got this person. Really, very bare minimum of catching them. Like it's almost like they wanted to be caught at this point. Super freaking minimal. Like it's just crazy. And other cases, you hear that they were even using government Wi-Fi on government computers to download these disturbing things. All this disturbing nastiness is just like an indication of how common and comfortable and at ease they are with doing what they do. This is not just like, well, these people are here, we're mapping you, we're doing this and that, we're doing like, what? Shut up, look at this trash. They are here rewiring me and doing all this retardation and well, this is the reality. I mean, we're even seeing a program manager at DARPA. This is not nobody, huh? Oh, by the way, of course, governmental devices. So they these people who are just doing the obvious, like they are just downloading with ease on their government computers on the Wi-Fi are the ones that they call these people. So can you only imagine those who like try to like use their, it's just a disturbing pattern that shows and indicates a problem that obviously they are barely trying to address. Because this is not, they didn't do like deep investigation to find them. It was just like it came to them because it's probably overwhelming. They didn't like, it's just like, oh, somebody was left his laptop unattended. They go in the laptop, they see like some child porn. Like, what the hell? On the government, CIA. Others are just been downloading thousands and thousands of child porn on their government computers. This is not even like, do you understand? Some of them were distributing their child porn, which in my brain they try to come up with these disturbing things because they in my brain the stories they come up. In my YouTube videos, I've been showing every manipulations they've been doing to me in regard of like they make me look at this kid in this disturbing, and I talk about it. I show the picture of this child, this random kid that in an ad. that also now I'm forced to get this disturbing stimulation just because it's a kid. And then in my brain, they would try to come up with like, no, because this is like, it's just a regular wholesome picture of a kid, and they do this disturbing things to me. And they try to create this disturbing reality. They don't live off reality. They understand reality is going to come to them, but in the meantime, they are living their reality. But reality is this: this trash are downloading child porn on on using these government devices. They are disgusting trash. And they tell me, you know what they tell me? Oh, they're going to frame me because they're going to be daring to implant child porn on my computer. Coming from this trash. These people are disgusting trash. In every way you look at them, they are trash. Trash. So to all my target individuals, for me, it's been clear my purpose. I know my voice will disappear. That's why I make as many videos as I can while I can. Because there is something spiritual about this. That as they try to make me subscribe to this pedophilia shit, reality that there is a problem, a big fucking problem, excuse my language, that these agencies have these patterns of agents or program managers from DARPA, CIA, and some DOD agencies downloading child porn on their computers. And for me, they say they mapped it, they do this retardations of just rewiring my brain. But that's what they do to others. I'm not unique in that. They do that to others. And that's the tactic of breaking us down, because what we truly are is we're human subject. They want to push us to insanity. And logic and everything is going to be removed, because this technology they're utilizing on us to develop this technology are extremely sophisticated. It's just ridiculously sophisticated. I mean, I can hear somebody who is able to interact with me remotely, but not only that, they have orchestrated my whole life at this point. Not my whole life, but since I've been putting this program, at this point on, everything I'm experiencing is something they've orchestrated. They know I'm going to experience. And so I can hear somebody tell me something I'm going to experience, not even maybe just today, but maybe 3 months from now. Because my life is no longer living a regular life. It's a life where everything I experience is manipulated. And by the way, once they do these things and you experience something that's talked about before, immediately what they're saying is they try to make you subscribe to these things. Oh, you know, you see, we proved this. Like, no, I understand the sophistication of this technology, and I understand that not only you have manipulated my thoughts, my perceptions, my reactions, my memories, but you have orchestrated and manipulated everything I'm going to experience. Or you know everything that's going to happen around me, because my whole ecosystem is then now is something that is either surveilled, manipulated, or aware of what's going to happen. Because they try to maintain this mystical appearance, which they'll never get. I see this. I understand this for what it is. It's amazingly sophisticated. I get this. And I will continuously say the same thing. But one thing I find more spiritual is the ability that they know everything I'm going to experience, but have zero idea what's going to happen to them. Zero. I mean, absolutely zero. Like I said, some have died while watching me die. Some have killed themselves. Some have gotten sick. So this is how I look at it. It's like, this is amazing. You're so God, but you can't even figure out what's going to happen to you 3 weeks from now. But you can tell me 3 months from now what I'm going to experience at 2 p.m. Isn't that magical? To all my target individuals, listen to what they do. And do not subscribe to this manipulation, knowing where these people, who is contracting this trash. Look at the problems. That's obvious here. There's an obvious problem here. There's obvious patterns of issues with pedophilia in this agency. Obvious. You tell me the way they're catching these people is just because they just left their laptop unattended and there's child porn on the government computers provided by these governmental entities, and then even using government Wi-Fi. Come on. I mean, it's just like, what? Well, they're here now. We mapped it. There is. You see, look, remember, you as like, listen. Some of the things you hear. A CIA agent did something to a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. This is a man that works at the CIA. What? And they now we mapped it. You were. It's stupidity. Reality is something that they can't. It's just too much. You can't counter that. And on top of that, they actually torture babies and kids in all different horrible ways. How much? Like, it's just like, for me, the way they try to counter that is just bring up how they're going to torture me. As if my tortures, regardless of how horrible my torture are going to be, regardless of how I'm going to be burned and tortured and cut in pieces, like, how can you think that's going to stop this? Do you think it's going to block reality? They say you're going to be feasted, you're going to be raped. I'm like I said, cut me in pieces, put me back together, cut me in pieces again, prolong it, finish it short. It's not going to change. This is reality. This is what you're part of, and you should expect some kind of reimbursement. You were God. You told me everything about what I'm going to experience, not knowing a single thing that's going to happen to you. How do you think things are going to happen for this bottom feeders? This, on top of that, those talking to me, most of them are just the nobodies in this program. It's like, it's so scary if I was in their shoes, like, oh my gosh, I have no effing idea when the day come for me. But I can tell this person everything he's going to experience or she's going to experience. And I can just fall down and, oh my gosh, what's happening? But, well, I know when he's going to fall down, when he's going to get up, when he's going to sleep, when he's going to die, well, if he's going to... I don't even know what I'm going to eat in 3 days from now. I can plan for it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. To all my target individuals, stay strong.
Used during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks?
Raping children and sexually assaulting children, and they're not being prosecuted? Where are
Russian government, where the Chinese government were evil aliens, where Satan's, satanic ritual abuse, and I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis, that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this. And so, anyway, my interview with Len, he very well described a typical breakdown script that's used on almost all the TI victims. TI stands for targeted individuals. Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts.
Practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic. And they used her to threaten the most torture in me, as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. One of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grabbed his crotch and leaned forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain.
End my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting.
For Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan. And please give us a congressional hearing. Thank you.
Targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds, and vice versa.
Education. I live in El Dorado Hills, California, with my wife of 14 years, Lorna, and our 5 children. Nicole is 15, Patricia 14, Christopher 13, Dylan 9, and Avery 16 months old. Not only have I been going through this, but my entire family has suffered right by my side. We have all experienced the same type of harassment on different levels. We have all suffered the same symptoms while this harassment was going on. Some of our physical symptoms include severe tooth decay and vision loss, unexplained rashes and burns, severe headaches, mood swings, anxiety, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, heart problems, vision loss, and cancer.
And I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, "You'll never take my will, ASS." So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and
Of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind.
So this is reality that I keep bringing up. While I was doing that, the things they were trying to come up with and the way they were trying to create these narratives and changing reality. And I mean, they truly are pushing target individuals to become close to insane. I mean, I don't want to use the words, but really just put you on the spectrum that it's just not like there's just a horrible way of thinking, and it's stupid. I mean, stupid is not the right word. Illogical, irrational, nonsensical way of thinking, to try to make you accept these manipulations, but also to try to counter the reality of who they really are, what they do, and how obvious this is what it is. A program where us human subjects are utilized for the development of this technology, which is also implemented onto children as they try to manipulate my thoughts in certain ways. So not only these people are doing these horrible things to us for the purpose of developing this technology, but these entities running these programs have a real problem. While for us, they are trying to paint us in a falsified reality, in a falsified way. And matter of fact, they even the perps involved in these programs create their own little fantasies of reality, blocking out the reality. Some of them are not all of them are as childlike as the people I see. Some of them obviously are grown, mature, logical adults, right? But they still have to get to that level on the spectrum of the same spectrum of these childlike individuals who are either children or barely adults. It's just level of no coming back. And so for us, target individual is just crazy. But please understand, I see these bottom feeders for what they are, and the true issues that these pedophilia things they force onto us when it's foul. But the reality is these people are actual pedophiles. I'm not going to bring up what they were trying to come up with in my head, how they had twisted things around, then create their narrative and twist it around something that ended up not being anything. But at the same time, with their little twist of reality and fantasies, which is falsified, distorted reality is what they live off, to try to make you be subscriptive to things that are just obvious manipulation, falsifications, and false narratives. While the reality is what you hear here. There's a problem with these entities running this program, which the problems are pedophilia-centric, but not only that, they torture children and women and men in these disturbing ways, which some of them include this pedophilia type of torture. To all target individuals, do not subscribe to this distorted reality they live on. Accept reality for what it is. We are test subjects. These people want us to be people that we aren't. And we're being manipulated by some extremely sophisticated weaponry. While I was doing this, this thing is such this program orchestrates so much around you that they do these things where they try to create a level of mystique, right? I just listen to a song and I'm looking at my emails. Is the amount of emails I have, is it the same number of this song talking about, like things like that. And like you see, like they try to create a mystique that is not really there. It's not mystique, for it is very much technological, but to a level that is unbelievable. So stay strong and know reality, and do not subscribe to this fantasy they put together.